Chapter 16 is titled What Befell Our Hero. Now, 3 days after he had successfully foiled the robbery attempt, Madhub Ghosh is portrayed as sitting restless in his chamber. He is thinking of his unrequited love for Matangini. He knows that she has sought shelter in his cousin Mathur Ghosh's house. He is tormented as he recalls their last meeting. He gets up for a breath of air in the garden when he is abducted by the Sardar and Bhikkhu. When he offers resistance, they tie him up and the Sardar carries him away in his arms. So, in this chapter, Madhub Ghosh is kidnapped by the Sardar and his companion Bhikkhu, and his later, as we see, he will be brought to Mathur's house. In chapter 17, the Vigilance of Love, here we find how Tara senses her husband's restlessness. When Mathur Ghosh comes to her chamber, he can hardly sleep. He tells her that he is unhappy but cannot confide his troubles to her. Suddenly, they hear a wild and hollow shriek like that of a screech owl, which interrupts their conversation, and Mathur Ghosh is startled and soon he goes out of the house. Tara follows him stealthily to the secret vaults of the godown, where she sees her husband and Suki's mother emerging after some time. Tara then quickly rushes back home. When Mathur Ghosh returns, he does not speak a word to him about what she has seen. So Tara, in this chapter, she discovers the hiding place where Matangini has been kept. Chapter 18, Captors and Captive. The robbers visit Madhub Ghosh in the vault where he has been imprisoned by his cousin, and they ask him to reveal the place where he has kept his uncle's will. During their conversation, low moans are heard coming from somewhere in the vicinity, but they fail to find the place or the sufferer, who seems to be in great pain. Madhub fails to strike a bargain with the robbers and over the will, and after they leave, he tries to find where the moans are coming from till he encounters Tara, who is holding a light and is on a similar mission. So, in chapter 18, Madhub is confronted with the thieves, the robbers, and they are employed by Mathur to find out the will, but they do not succeed. Again, that sound, that moaning sound is heard, and he tries to find out the source, and now he meets Tara, who is also trying to find out about that moaning sound. In chapters 19, which is titled Madhub and Tara, and in chapter 20, Some Women Are the Equals of Some Men, we see that Tara is older than Madhub, but they have known each other since their infancy. Madhub is welcome in the ladies' quarters of Mathur Ghosh's house because of his closeness to Tara. Tara, in fact, has been looking for a woman who has been lured into her husband's vault with the help of the woman friend, that is Suki's mother. Together, Madhub and Tara discover a starving and languishing Matangini in an upper well-furnished vault of the godown. Tara, who has stolen the key of the godown from her sleeping husband, thus frees both the captives, Madhub and Matangini. Madhub offers Matangini shelter in his house, but she is determined to go back to her father after the bitter experiences of a traumatic marriage. So here we find that ultimately Matangini is rescued from the vault, from the secret vault where Mathur had placed her, and she had not been taking food also, and she was quite weak. But when they find her, that is Tara and Madhub, they discover her, she does not accede to Madhub's request to live in his house, or rather she would like to go back to her father's house. In chapter 21, the last chapter in life's book, and in this we find that the robber chief has escaped, but Bhikkhu and Rajmohan, they are arrested by the police. They confess their role in the aborted dacoity. They also tell the police about Mathur Ghosh's involvement in the conspiracy. Mathur Ghosh is confident of buying the local police, but he has not counted on the incorruptible Irishman who is the district magistrate. So when he is informed by his henchmen that the Irishman is arriving there with a posse of police to arrest him, he commits suicide by hanging himself from the ceiling of the very same vault where he had imprisoned Madhav Ghosh, his cousin, and several other victims. So thus ends the life of Mathur Ghosh, who is an evil person, and having failed to obtain that will that he was after, and when everything comes to light, of course he has no option but to commit suicide. Conclusion: there is a conclusion to this novel where the author informs us that Viku and Rajmohan had been granted a pardons, but that is revoked, and they are transported for life to the black waters. That is, they are banished from their place. Matangini returns to her father's house where she dies an early death. So thus ends the sad life of Matangini, Rajmohan's wife. Tara lives a long widowhood and is mourned by everyone when she dies. Madhub, Champak and the rest also live their course of life. So here the novel comes to an end with the main character Matangini breathing her last in her father's house, and her husband Rajmohan being banished. Madhav Ghosh, he of course continues to live with Hemangini, and the other characters also they also eke out a living. So this is in short the summary of Rajmohan's wife, and I hope that you have started to read the novel, and there are many nitty-gritties, small incidents which cannot be mentioned in a summary. So I hope that you have got a fair idea about the setting, the characters, how the plot is developing, what the novelist is trying to do with the characters, how the conflict is developing, and how the resolution is brought about. And it would help you to understand the novel better. So with this summary, in our next class, we will pass on to the discussion of some of the questions that might be set from this novel.